while longer than usual. I've got a ton of things to go through. I've recently dropped a video called 5 mistakes that investors make coming into the Dubai market. I want to reiterate that for a reason, because I want to underpin why it's super important to actually have a very good strategy session in place. I dropped a video called 5 mistakes that... And last but not the least, sorry for the feedback here. And last but not the least, I'm going to be going live on 4th April, 3 p.m. Dubai Standard Time. If you have made a wrong investment in the Dubai real estate market, send in your questions to us, send in your scenarios to us. I'm going to dissect it. I'm going to come up with solutions. I'm going to hopefully give you guidance for free on YouTube. My team's going to put the link below. All right, guys, listen. Let's talk about 5 things that you should majorly watch out for so that you can avoid making a mistake coming into the Dubai real estate market. These are 5 simple things, okay? To watch the video in full, guys, please link the 5 investor mistakes that people make that we recently released, and so you can watch the video in full, okay? So the number one thing is people aren't looking out for real quality in the build of the apartment or the full building or the property or the villa and so on and so forth. Now, I'm not going to say that Dubai doesn't build quality, because Dubai follows a certain standard to international level, okay? Thank God, we've never had buildings falling down, bridges falling, as you might have heard in some other countries, okay? And we pray that it always remains the same like this, okay? So there is a basic certain quality that is always input in the actual construction of the structure and so on and so forth. But you have to also pay attention to the actual finish quality. Now, finishing a property can vary on the features or fixtures that are being used, like the tap, the toilets, the granite countertops or the marble and so on and so forth. But it also depends on the skilled workmanship that is being used by the contracting company. Now, it's no secret in Dubai, most of the workers come from countries such as Nepal, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, some African nations like Kenya, Nigeria, and so on and so forth. Now, these people have some minimalistic training, and then the companies, the contracting companies, train them on site, okay? You can't really compare their skilled workmanship where they're getting paid. So they get paid, now you might get surprised at hearing this. They get paid sometimes, let's say even go on the higher side, 1,000 dirhams per month. Divide that by 30. Okay, so no, 1,000 dirhams, I think they work 10 days. I'm going to take about 1,500. Let's even take 2,000 dirhams, okay? So we're going to add like their stay and food. Divide that by 26. They get paid about 76 dirhams per day, which divided into dollars, 3.67, is literally about $20 per day. You can't compare their skilled workmanship to people in the US who get paid 60, 70, 80, $100 an hour, right? So you can see the difference. So when you're buying in the Dubai market, you've got to evaluate quality. You've got to really look at what is the quality that's coming across to you. And assessing, and by visiting different areas, you will be able to assess which developer is going to be giving you quality. Number 2, a lot of people end up buying hype, okay? Look, hype comes through the marketing collateral, so on and so forth. I always tell people, if a developer is promising you about 15 amenities in the building, take 5 of those amenities away. Look at the 10 remaining, the 70% remaining. Are you still happy? If you're still happy, go ahead and buy, okay? Number 3, and by the way, guys, if you have any questions, put them in the comments, in the chat section, the live chat. I will go through and I will answer them, okay? Number 3, guys, a lot of people go into the market with a shopping mindset, okay? They're just looking, browsing until they get stuck with a pushy salesperson and they buy. Go into the market with a business mindset. You look, evaluate. You look, evaluate. Now, the critical thing is going into the market with a business mindset is that you should have planned in advance via a strategy session that we host. Do a strategy session with one of my advisors, a paid session or a free session, and then go into the market. Number 4, not having an expert on your side, right? I always give an extreme analogy and I say, look, if you were ever flying in an airplane, you would always make sure that there's a licensed commercial pilot who is allowed to fly that airplane, flying that airplane. You'd never sit onto an airplane with an amateur. Why would you do that with your investment worth a $500,000, $10 million into the Dubai market, right? And last but not the least, a lot of people wait for that perfect, absolute perfect time. They think, oh, there's gonna be this perfect time. There is no perfect time. There's a perfect time for you, right? And that happens if you've done a proper strategy with an expert. Choose any expert, but make a plan before you go into the market, right? That guides you to making good decisions timely. Now, let's say you didn't have a strategy in place, you didn't have an expert guiding you, you went with a shopping mindset, and you got a salesperson actually closing you onto a property that you shouldn't have been buying in the first place. Fine, you've done the deed. Now what? Guys, 4th April, 3 p.m., Dubai Standard Time, I'm going to go live. Send it. There is a form below. If you guys can put the form, okay? Explain your situation, explain what you've invested in. I will dissect it. I will choose the ones that are the most drastically bad investments, guys. And I will try to like go over them and I'll say, look, if you've made this bad investment, I suggest this is a solution to that, okay? So 4th April. Now I've got a bunch of questions. Can we do those? Can we answer the live questions, guys? Yeah. And of course, if anybody comes up with any questions, thank you. Anybody comes up with any questions now, I'm happy to answer. Just put them in the live chat section. Okay, guys? Cool. Okay, so I've got a question from Zafar Mohyuddin. What are your thoughts on Peninsula? How do you rate it in terms of quality and price? Okay, quality and price. So I'm going to talk about quality and price as one factor, but we generally look at 26 different variables when we're ranking a development, okay? So let me just talk to you about the developer first, okay? So the developer is actually quite stable, solid, decent developer. They've done quite a lot of developments in Dubai Marina. Dubai Marina, as it becomes oversaturated, very crowded, this developer has decided to actually come out of Dubai Marina. I can't remember if they've done other developments outside Dubai Marina, but they're a decent developer that's kind of delivered, not kind of, they're pretty much delivered on what they've promised in Dubai Marina, and their buildings tend to do well. Okay, so they tend to do well for short term, they tend to do well for long term rentals in the Dubai Marina atmosphere or the environment. Okay, so here you have a decent developer. So when you have a decent developer, what can you rely on? You can rely on that they would have chosen a good location because they are going to be selling their name, right? They're going to be selling their inventory. You can rely that they would have been planning it very well. So they would have planned it very well as well, right? Now, Peninsula in particular, in just short, is in a very key area in Business Bay with the creek or the water or the canal hugging it, okay? So some of these apartments are going to have direct canal views. Some of these apartments are not going to have direct canal views, but they're going to have Burj Khalifa and the rest of Business Bay, which at nighttime looks very, very beautiful, okay? So given the location, and they would have paid a premium price for this plot, in terms of price, it's going to be a little bit on the higher end, okay? Now, the Select Group, which is the developer, even if you were buying something from them in Dubai Marina, they're not the most cheapest developer. Why? Because they do a decent job, they do a decent planning on the apartments, they do good amenities, they give you like that je ne sais quoi. So, of course, the pricing is not going to be the cheapest or the lowest, okay? Because they would have spent a pretty penny on acquiring this very huge place of land, okay? I would almost call it a little bit of a master development because I think it's 5 or 7 buildings, and they're all interconnected with walkways, shops, walking boulevard, promenade, so on and so forth. So the price is going to be on the higher end, but you're going to get what you pay for, okay? So hopefully, if you're paying a little bit of a higher price, you're going to be getting a good apartment in a good locality, okay? Number one. Quality, I can't speak to their quality too much, okay? I've not evaluated their quality independently to the extreme. I haven't done that, so I can't speak to their quality, but they're known to do decent, good quality, okay? But I'd have to go and visit and actually look at what their building is. Now, I'll give you some advice on how you can assess quality, okay? Very simple. You go to their developments in Dubai Marina, okay? So you shortlist all the buildings that they've delivered and developed, create an Excel sheet and say, okay, this building was delivered in 2005, this in 2008, this in 2010, this in 2011, this in 2012. Take a sheet of paper like we do when we take our clients there. We call it the property viewing checklist, okay? Go and do viewings. How do you get into those buildings, okay? Call up any agent that's running a sale ad over there or a rental ad. Now, if you had us as your expert advisors on your site, we would do this work for you, okay? So go talk to anybody there, or you can sometimes just approach the security guard downstairs and say, look, I just want to have a look. I just want to look at the quality of the apartment, okay? Some of the security guards might have keys to empty apartments. They might be able to help you out, okay? Sometimes they don't. They're very strict. Speak to some of the agents who are selling or buying. Tell them you're in the market. You don't have to lie to them that you're promising them to buy the apartment. Tell them you're in the market doing some generic research. Perhaps there's a deal in it for them. Perhaps there isn't. Would they be so kind enough for allowing you to go and visit? Now, you go and visit the building. Let's say delivered a building in 2012. Now it's 2023. After 10 years, walk in there. What do you smell? Do you smell good smell? Do you smell bad smell? How's the elevator look? How's the lobby look? Right? How does the actual apartment look? Go to the facilities, the amenities, buildings that they've delivered maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Go do them as well. So you'll be able to have a mental image of what kind of quality the developer delivers. Okay, so there is somebody called Little Troublemaker. I would love to move to Dubai, just don't know how to start or where to start. Okay, guys, listen, very simple. Everything happens 2 times in your life, okay? Once in your brain and the other time in reality, okay? So Little Troublemaker, bless you, looks like a very young person, girl or boy, I'm not sure. I'm not going to be able to give you practical advice because you've not given me any practical information about whether you're a student, whether you're working, whether you're married, you're unmarried, where you are in your life. But here's the deal. Don't give up the dream. Think, imagine, dream. And if you continue focusing on this dream, you will start seeing the opportunities arising to you that you would be able to identify and then be able to move to Dubai. Okay, that's the best I can give you based on the information you've given me. Mohammed Navi Wala, I'm a real estate agent in Dubai. I wanted to ask to start selling off plan. You need to work on leads through marketing or create connections with buyers in Dubai. Both, okay? Mohammed, here's the thing that you need to understand, okay? You're in the business of lead generation. You're actually not in the business of real estate, okay? Once you understand that your business actually means lead generating, you will be able to focus on lead generation through all types of means possible for you. That is marketing, which can be online, could be newspaper, could be offline, and also through making connections with buyers, right? You know, maybe your uncle has somebody who he knows is looking to buy, wants some basic information on the Dubai market. Maybe your sister knows somebody, maybe your religious community group, maybe your park group, maybe your football club, so on and so forth. So it's all areas on full steam ahead all the time. Tariq Hotak, Salaam Alaikum, Walaikum Assalam. Can you please talk about the property market in Ajman? If you can, thank you. It's a decent property market. The one thing I would say is priced much lower. I think it's almost 1/3 of the Dubai market. But again, guys, listen, it's very simple. You're paying what you're getting, okay? So Ajman is not a bad city. It's a good place. It's in the United Arab Emirates. Property prices are 1/3. Ask yourself a question. Why is it so? Perhaps it's because of the infrastructure in the area. Perhaps it's because Ajman does not have an international airport. So, like, you know, if you want to fly out, you're always going to have to drive into Sharjah or Dubai or Abu Dhabi, so on and so forth. Malls are fewer, but I think there are parks and stuff like that. So it doesn't matter. It's okay. You pay 1/3 the amount, but you still could clear about 6 to 7% in rental income. So I'm not going to say Ajman's not a good place to invest in. Just do your research, right? Abdullah Deshmukh, I've heard you talk about the remote working visa before. Do you know anyone who can provide consultation services for that? Just check online, check for a company that does that. I don't know off the top of my head anybody who can do that. Creative Solutions, what are the top 3 developers by what are the top 3 developers by quality standards? Quality standards, like, look, there's Shoba, Ellington, beneath them. There's a few other developers in JVC called Oxford. They're Iman developers. They run the brand called Oxford. And then there are some boutique developers that do very good developments and very high-end quality. I can't name them off the top of my head, and they'll be in different categories, right? Omnia does decent quality developers and so on and so on. Okay, this is a good question. Does average location plus good quality takes precedence over average quality plus good location? Both can work, and I'll give you an example. Burj Najum is a building in the downtown area, walking distance about 5 minutes to Dubai Mall. Really, really bad quality, performs really well on net rental income, okay? I've seen it gives you the highest rental income. I've seen recent stats. One of my VIP investors share that with me. The stats in that is like you can make almost 7.18% in there, okay? So the location is really good, the quality is really average, but the building is really, really funny when it comes to, like, if you go into the building, you're not going to like it. It'll depend on your taste and your level of taste, but a lot of my investors end up not liking the building, and they'd rather prefer to invest in a better asset or a better quality asset. And then you ask me, does average location plus good quality beat the other side, right? Average quality plus good location. Here's the thing, JVC is a regular location, but Ellington, that does really good, high quality developments over there. Adil, I've seen your question, I'll answer this. Just give me 1 second. All right, Adil, I'll answer both your questions. Just give me 1 second. So in JVC, which is a good location in terms of proximity to Sheikh Zayed Road, but generally not the best location in terms of the whole amenities and the development over there up till today, Ellington's buildings there would perform very well. So whereas average market rent might be about 55, 35, 45 for a 1-bedroom, with Ellington, you could actually charge 75,000 because of the design element, the goodness in the building, and so on and so forth. Okay, Adil, walaikum assalam. Let me answer your questions here before I go further. So creative solutions, does that answer? Like average location, good quality. Does it take precedence over average quality and good location? Good question. I've given you examples where both of them buildings perform well. But if you were working with an expert advisor, the actual building we would do, and we would look at it and see if that makes more sense on an actual basis, okay? Because in actual reality, you could see that there would be a big difference, okay? But I deliberately gave you an example where both work in both instances. Okay, let me answer Adil. Adil, assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum assalam. I have joined late, don't know if this is already addressed. How is the property market in Sharjah freehold? It's good, it's all right. I'll give you my personal experience with Sharjah, okay? Before 2008, Sharjah announced, just like Dubai, right? Dubai was going through its boom. They said we're freehold. Sharjah also wanted to get onto the sale bandwagon, and they said, okay, you can buy a property over here. I remember somebody personally who ended up buying a apartment on a 25-year lease. He was an Irish citizen, a citizen of Northern Ireland. Fast forward 2013, the building management approaches him and says, look, we have now received new rules. You cannot continue owning this property, okay, you must either transfer it to somebody who's a citizen of the GCC or an Arab national and so on and so forth. Fine, he had no choice, but he still liked his 3-bedroom apartment. So what he ended up doing in 2013 or 2012, he transferred it to somebody's name. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's okay. We can continue, yeah? That's okay, yeah. So he transferred it to somebody else's name, and what ended up happening is he transferred it to a local Emirati's name, but essentially he kept ownership of the property. Fine. It goes to show that even though they had sold him on a 25-year lease, they said, no, now you no longer can hold it after like 4 or 5 years. And then he transferred it to somebody else's name, and then he became like a de facto owner or an owner without on paper. But then after 4 or 5 years, he just sold the property, okay? Now, 2016, fast forward 2016, Sharjah again opened up the doors and they said, anybody can buy a property here. If you are a citizen of one of these Arab countries like Jordan, Egypt, Iraq, so on and so forth, or the GCC, it is freehold for you. If you have a UAE residence visa, then we would give you 99 years. 99 years. If you have a residence visa, then you can have it for 99 years. Now the question was, for me, fine, if somebody buys a property today with a 99-year visa, if he has a residence visa and you're non-Arab, but what if that person then stops working? This is 2016. And then does not have a residence visa, does his 99-year residency lease on the property still remain? I didn't get a proper answer on that, okay? Now, I believe that most recently, Sharjah's announced completely freehold for any nationality. I'm seeing that yet to be implemented, but I think it will get implemented. Now, here's the thing, Adil, and for everybody else who's listening to this. You're going to think about this. You've got to think about this in the right way, okay? You've got to think about this in the right way. There's a lot of people I know who are looking to move to the United Arab Emirates, and they have about 500,000 to 1 million dirhams saved up, or they have that much that they can spend. But they're used to living in a townhome. Now, it's very difficult to get a townhome or an apartment of a decent stature and decent quality in Dubai at 500,000 to 1 million. Okay, sometimes it's challenging. So in that scenario, Sharjah becomes an amazing location for you. Okay, now even if they're giving you 99-year lease, it's still great. Okay, guys, look at your own situation and then adapt to what's available in the market. Okay, this is why a strategy session is very important. We charge for it. Okay, if you want to do one with us, but we will then be able to help you across the market. Okay, we charge $3,000 for it, but then we can guide you accordingly. So Sharjah becomes very attractive for some people, or Ajman becomes, as I said, I was answering somebody earlier. Ajman is 1/3 the property price of Dubai. Go into a decent building, the regulatory framework's okay. You're paying 1/3, right? So you're still gonna be able to make some money on that property in terms of rental income. Similarly on freehold, even if it's leasehold for 99 years, or given that they've just changed laws last year, and I don't have full clarity, not a problem. Look at your situation. Go and invest and then be able to reside in Sharjah if that's what you need, right? Okay, so I've got this question. What is the lifespan of a building in Dubai? After the lifespan is done, what will happen to our investment? Any law regarding that? I don't know right now. So I think a building lifespan is like 70 years, 70 to 80 years, I think, okay? Every 30 to 40 years, a building gets refurbished, okay? I've seen this, okay? So I was born and raised in Dubai. The building I moved into Dubai was, I think, 38 years old, okay? My father worked for the government. It was like one of those buildings that was for very high-level employees, and we used to live there. They've just refurbished it after 35 years. So I personally think that buildings are going to last beyond the 35 to almost up to 70 years or maybe 100 plus years, They just get refurbished with new technology and so on and so forth. Now, what happens after the building's done with, right? And it's finished. What happens then? Essentially speaking, what's going to end up happening, in my personal opinion, is people are still going to own parts of the land in relation to the size of the apartment that you own, okay? I think that 35, 40 years down the lane, we're not going to have a requirement for these many car parking spaces. I think we're going to adapt to no parking and stuff like that. So I personally think that buildings could get demolished and then just get rebuilt. Now, who's going to pay for that? You know, I think what could happen, okay, this is just one thing that could happen, is if a building's 25 stories tall today and everybody's an owner of that 25 stories, how would you pay for another rebuild of that, right? Part of it is you're paying some service charges today. Part of it could be money going to an insurance company that will help you rebuild. Part of it is that if it's 25 floors, you just double it to 50 floors and then use that money to rebuild the whole building, all right? There is no clarity. I'm just doing some thinking myself. Kai AF, so let me answer these questions again. Let's unpin Adil's questions. I've answered all of them. I'm a little confused in asking for 10 extra days. Does this mean you can move in earlier than what's in the agreement? I think this is a tenant situation. Yes, you can, but that'll go in the contract. So you can ask for extra 10 days as a freebie, right? Neil, I've been living in Dubai for 1 month. I'm looking for an apartment to rent for a year. I'm having a lot of difficulty understanding the entire rental process and finding a reliable agent. Besides, I speak very little English. My language is Spanish. I'd like to know if you can help me in any way. Yes, we can. Just to let you know, I'll give you your specific way that you can be helped, okay? Back in the day, 2016, when I was with Keller Williams, we had Mexican and Argentinian agents who I think speak Spanish. I'm not sure. Please forgive me if I've said the wrong thing. This is how I would explain that, how I would help you, okay? How you can help yourself, okay? Find a Spanish-speaking agent, pay them some money up front, and tell them, like, look, if you help me with the entire rental process, I will only buy or rent the property through you. Then let them explain the process to you step by step. If you want to help, you want to work with us, reach out to us. There is a mobile number. We do charge an initial fee, but then we will be able to help you throughout the process, okay? And listen, guys, there is a tenancy how to rent a property video in Dubai. If you can find it, it's old. It's at least 2-3 years old. I've done the property video like that. Arbaz Hashmi, is Square Yards good? I got an opportunity to work with Square Yards Dubai. I will be joining after Eid. Please let me know. Yes, it's good. They've got a lot of focus on you calling, kind of like a little bit of like a boiler room. But it is what it is. If you're going to go there, fine. They'll teach you how to call. Can I get an investor visa if I take debt in my home country and have a 750 dirhams property in Dubai? Simple answer is yes. Your debt in your home country has no bearing on your visa over here in Dubai, as long as you've actually paid off the property. Gil Bambrolia. Oh, guys, by the way, I'm going to be going live April 4th, 3 p.m. Discuss any problems you have in the Dubai real estate market, especially investments that you've made that you are not finding them profitable, have lost money, or are losing money. Reach out to me. I'll be able to help you. All right. I'm sure covering this topic, I'm facing lack of guidance. I'm doing my MBBS in India. I want to come for higher studies in these countries. So should I come on student visa or I take a golden visa? After that, how do I apply for citizenship? Look, the citizenship path is not very clear to a lot of people, even though Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, has opened that door. Golden visas are much easier. A lot of people have them now, okay? Last count, about 65,000 people have golden visas. If you're doing your MBBS, look, you're becoming a doctor, graduate, come to Dubai. You can probably pass the local exams over here and start, look for a job as a doctor and be able to get your golden visa as well. Information must be for non-Arabs. I am an Indian. It doesn't matter if you're non-Arab or Indian, it's the same, yeah? And I want to be a permanent citizen of UAE. Look, finish your MBBS, come over here, look for a job as a doctor. I'm sure you'll get hired. Get your golden visa, and by that time, the route or route to citizenship might be open, might be clear, and you can get UAE citizenship if you're looking for that, yeah? Can a landlord kick a tenant to use it but rent it back as a holiday home? Can tenant complain if you do that? Who will win? Look, very good point. If a landlord kicks out a tenant, they have to give, not kicks out. If a landlord wants a tenant to leave, they have to give a 12-month notice. 10 plus 2 months. 10 plus 2 months, 12 months notice. And they've got to tell people, there's only 3 reasons you can ask a tenant to leave. One is, you want to live in the property yourself or one of your first degree relatives. 2 is, you've got to sell the property. 3 is, there is major work that needs to be taken on in that property without which that tenant's life or his family's life is in danger, and so on and so forth, okay? Now, in this scenario, if a tenant has been asked to vacate and was given a 12-month notice to either rent the property or to sell the property, not to rent the property, to move in themselves or to sell the property, but either of that was not done by the landlord, then the landlord must give that tenant the first right of refusal, which means, let's say they were trying to sell the property for 4 or 5 months, they weren't able to sell it, they must go back to the tenant and give them that right of refusal and say, look, we were trying to sell it, but we've not been able to sell. We'd like to now give it back to you. If you'd like to rent it again, you're welcome to please come in and rent the property with us, okay? I think some of these cases might go to court in Dubai with the Rental Dispute Center, the RDC, and they will then get to judge on it, and then you will see news headlines. You cannot vacate your tenant and then put it on short-term rentals. It's illegal. You'll be fine. SA. This is good advice. If you haven't been in this situation, when you suddenly realize that your agent doesn't actually have your best interest in your mind, then you won't fully appreciate it. Imagine an agent asking you if you want to sell your off-plan property for a certain amount because they have a buyer who can only spend that amount even though it's below market. So SA, it's not very common. It is common. People do get calls from agents. I still remember one of my VIP clients, he was getting harassed by agents continuously who would call him. He had a property in the Imar beachfront, great property, amazing. And they would tell him like, hey, why don't you sell this property? We've got ready buyers and you could book a profit. And I told him, he came to me and I said to him, like, I gave him like a long list of justification why you shouldn't sell his property. I told him, look, Imar beachfront, Imar spent about 4 billion dirhams in just the infrastructure, on the road coming in, on just the island, on the cruise terminal. They spent 4 billion dirhams, $1.5 billion. And you own one apartment there. That's a 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, 3-bedroom, overlooking the sea with beach access. Name one community that can easily be built by investing 4 billion dirhams and super fast, and then you can own a 2-bedroom apartment there. And he couldn't think and he couldn't answer. So I said, look, it would be a big folly if you don't need the money to actually sell the property and then just book a profit, right? Now, the bad thing is that agents are going to start lying, and agents are going to start telling him things that aren't true. They're going to tell him, oh, there is a tower coming in front of this. Oh, this is never going to get built. Oh, the sea is sinking, or the island is sinking. Some bullshit that they'll make up to convince him to sell. Don't fall for that, and you shouldn't actually. Palace Clo, hello, can I just ask, please, where can I get a certificate to sell off-plan projects in Dubai if I have permanent residency in Europe? Speak to a company and get employed by a company, okay? That'll be the easiest way for you to do it. Not mentioning any downsides about Dubai Creek Harbor is a big misrepresentation. There's loads of traffic congestion to get in and out, no public transportation. The master plan doesn't guarantee the mall or the Creek Tower. Burj Khalifa was built first in downtown. Here, nothing moved in 5 years. Things in Dubai are never final. Okay, first of all, every area has its advantages and disadvantages, okay? So me not mentioning any downsides, perhaps I should have, perhaps the video was not talking about the downsides, okay? But every area has that, okay? Even downtown, right? On Eid days, which is twice a year, on New Year's Eve, then on Ramadan, then on celebrations when like Morocco wins and gets to the semifinals, downtown becomes packed. Traffic is horrendous, okay? On New Year's Eve, you can't actually get in or get out post 4 p.m., okay? But you know, the good parts are Burj Khalifa, so on and so forth. You've got to understand that Dubai Creek Harbor is a community in development. You've got to also understand that any mistakes that Emaar has made in large-scale master plan developments of theirs with buildings such as Dubai Marina, such as downtown, they are avoiding those mistakes and they're not going to repeat them. One critical mistake is that in Emaar, in Dubai Marina, in downtown, a lot of the plots were sold to private developers. Emaar had no control over that because they just felt that that was a good way of doing business back in the day, right? Creek Harbor, they're maintaining and they're controlling it, okay? I've personally not felt traffic going in or coming out. Now there's a lot of, there's ways opening to Festival City, there's ways coming in from Al Khail Road and so on and so forth, or Ras Al Khor Road. But, you know, traffic's a part of reality of Dubai. We continuously expand roads, give more infrastructure, but then there's more people coming into the country or Dubai as well, yeah? Sorry. Trying to get you the rental video. This is for that Spanish lady. No, it's not about how to get more rent on the property. It's how do you rent a property in Dubai? It's for tenants. How do they rent a property? Okay. Master plan does not guarantee the mall or a creek. Okay, the mall's going to come over there. They don't have to guarantee it, but I know that because there is a need in that area. Okay, there is no mega mall in that area, so it is going to come. I don't know when it will come. It will come 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, right? Rent like a boss, could be. Yeah, just have a look at it. Yeah, rent like a boss. Creek Tower again. I can't be the one to say if it's going to get built or not, but I do know that they've spent about $1 billion in just the basement or the foundation part of it. And in my personal opinion, Dubai generally doesn't leave things incomplete. So it'll get built at what stage, I'm not sure. But for you to say Burj Khalifa was built first in downtown, not true. Burj Khalifa was actually started in 2005 or 4, was not completed and released to the market until 4th January 2010, right? Then you said things are never final in Dubai. Not true. Yeah, it's true. Because they keep updating as well. Jil Bhambrol, yeah. I've already answered your questions, Jil. Please listen to this live again and you will be able to listen, okay? Raja, thank you, Fahd. My tenant stopped responding after his check returned due to no funds in his account. I have approached the RDC Dubai office, sent notice through Notary Public. I will proceed further after the due date for his eviction. Unfortunately, rental agency was not good. Yeah, that's true. Sorry, guys. Use a property management company. You will pay 5% or more for managing the property like our company or any other company, but they'll do the paperwork properly. Unfortunately, people like to save 5% and that's okay, and then they learn from the process. But at least, Raja, you're doing it the right way. You've approached the rental dispute center. MK, I don't think I understand Dubai and why anyone would want to go there. What's the big deal? Thank you for your comment. You've answered your own question in your comment. When you say, I don't think I understand Dubai, so you, MK, don't understand Dubai. So when you then say, why would anybody want to go to Dubai? Well, because you don't understand Dubai, you can't understand why anybody would want to go to Dubai, right? If Sangha loves New York and wants to go to New York, I don't know why he loves New York, but he wants to go. But he understands New York, right? Maybe he wants to do some street photography there, right? That's my camera guy. So he wants to go to New York. So he wants to go to New York because he understands it. You don't understand Dubai. You don't understand why people want to go. And that's fine. You've got every right to not understand Dubai. Maybe you've got other things happening in your life. Hisham Mushalhe. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. I live in Canada. I'm thinking to diversify my investment, buy something in Dubai. Would you please advise if it is a good advice? Yes, it is a good advice. Use an expert advisor. Sign up to us on our VIP package. We do charge when you're working with us a fee to start working with you, but we're going to be able to guide you in a very good way. Why not invest in Dubai? It's tax-free. There's no income tax, so on and so forth, okay? And if you do it the right way, structure your company in the best tax-efficient way, you're going to be paying a lot less taxes in Canada as well. Amit Mathur, is this the right time to buy? In Dubai market seems to be at an all-time high. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Who knows? I've answered this in a recent video. There is no perfect time. There is a perfect time for you, okay? There's no perfect time. Like, you know, the best time to invest in the Dubai market was when? 2003. But I guess you did not. Perhaps you weren't born. The next best time to invest in the Dubai market was 2008 or 2009, when the global financial crisis hit. But everybody was actually falling for cover because the sky was about to fall down, fall onto their heads. So maybe you didn't invest then. The best amazing time after that would have been 2015. The best amazing time to invest would have been 2020. The next best amazing time, if you're ready, is now. Mr. Dada, thanks. So if you buy an off-plan payment on a payment plan with developer, when are you eligible for the investor visa for 750,000? Because it would not be mortgage after it's paid off. Okay, so you've got to at least have paid it off 750,000 dirhams, and it's ready. I think it has to be ready as well. Okay, but an off-plan, if it's over 2 million, they're going to give you the visa. All right, Jill Bambrolia, can you tell me the timeline of video when you discuss my point? Yeah, I'll tell you. It's very simple. I'll answer you again. In my opinion, looking at your situation, finish your MBBS in India, come to Dubai for a job, get your golden visa as a doctor. I think you will get a job in Dubai. You'll just have to clear the local exams here. Have somebody to support you for the first 3 to 6 months while you're here studying for a job and so on and so forth, and get your local certification. Find a job as a doctor. Doctors are always in demand, I imagine. Get your golden visa at some stage, and then you can move on to getting your citizenship. All right, guys? Cool. That's about it for today. I've answered all the questions that I had from my team. Guys, if you have questions, please don't hesitate. Put them in the comment section on my videos. I take them on and I then answer them. All right, guys? Don't forget, 4th April, 3 p.m. I'm going to be going live. I'm going to be actually going through any bad investments that you've made, dissect them, and give you advice on how you can actually come up with solutions for yourself. Ciao for now. There is a link below. All right. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and bell icon. And any questions, love you want to share in the comment section.